Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah and on this channel we talk about spirituality, self-development and basically anything else that piques my interest. Today's video is a little bit different because I actually have a friend joining me today. Her name is Maxine and we filmed a video together in her beautifully decorated house. So this video is going to be all about the benefits of slow living, having a slower approach to life, the dangers of hustle culture, the importance of setting boundaries and doing things just for the fun of it. So I realised after we'd finished filming the video and I'd left that I hadn't really introduced Maxine properly. So Maxine is my friend and I met her when we were studying at university together. We were doing a course called International Fashion Branding. I actually only did 1 year and then I left and decided I wanted to be an actor. But yeah, that's how we met. And since then, we've just always kept in contact. We have a lot of similar interests. So we've always followed each other on Instagram and things like that. And I've always thought of Maxine as someone that is really good at living authentically and living in a way that works for her. So I thought it would be good to get her thoughts on the benefits of slow living and having a bit more of a slower approach to life and living a life that feels good for you, not just one that maybe looks good on the outside. So without further ado, let's get straight on into the video. Yeah, for today I wanted to chat to you about like slow living because I feel like you've always been into that kind of stuff.
I suppose I have.
Yeah. And I always see on your Instagram posts like talking about, finally we were just talking about capitalism, but like talking about like how bad it is that we're so obsessed with like being productive
Yes.
and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, when do you think that you started to like notice that or like feel that you wanted to have a like slower pace of life, or have you always felt like that?
To be honest, I think I probably realised when. So I did a degree. We did a degree.
Yeah, that's right.
In fashion.
Yeah.
Then I worked in fashion, and I thought I really don't like this,
Mm.
so I'll try something else. So
Yep.
I did another degree. I did a master's in occupational therapy.
Yeah.
And totally different, obviously. And then I worked in a hospital, and I thought I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of thinking, what is it me? I've picked something else. I've done. Why can't I just have a job and like. Use this education.
Yeah.
But I realised it was just like the pace. Like I was like, I can't keep up with this because the pressure of the job, it wasn't just a 9 to 5. It's like the pressure of constantly thinking about work. And when you go home from work, you're tired.
Yeah.
And I just thought it wasn't working for me. And then when I left that job and started thinking like, what is it I actually want? How do I want my life to look? And then I realised I just need to be doing less of the stuff that I don't want and more of the stuff that I do.
Yeah, and like at a slower pace as well.
Yeah,
because I think like we're all obsessed with like just doing everything really, really fast. Like these days and getting things done really fast. That's something I've tried to like stop doing because I'm really bad for trying to get things done really fast and then not taking enough time over it and then not doing it that well either. So it's like pointless. So that's something that I've tried to like kind of slow down a little bit. But it's hard, and I think it's hard, especially in like my profession, like being an actor. Everything's so fast paced, and so like you're expected to do a lot out with just even like going to auditions or going to on set or like doing the like show. You're expected to like attend networking events and just do all these extra things, and it can be a lot. Like it's demanding. So I think having sort of shifting the importance onto just being a bit more conserving of your energy as well.
Absolutely.
Like I think that's a big thing. And I was saying that like to you earlier, like as I'm getting older, I feel like I'm noticing that more. Like that I need to conserve my energy and also even just who like I surround myself with. Like feeling drained or feeling, whatever after like I've been out and been really social, like needing that time to like recharge. Because I feel like we talked about this ages ago because you read that Quiet book, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I think it was you that I saw, you'd read it and I was like, well, I'm going to read that. And it was all about like being introverted or the sort of scale of like introversion and extroversion. And it's funny because I always thought that I was on like the very, very extroverted side, but actually I don't know. I think as I'm getting older, I'm getting more introverted.
But you can be both. You can be ambivert and have both.
Yeah, exactly. But I think because you'd read that and then I read it and then my youngest sister Emma read it because she's always classified herself as a bit of an introvert.
Yeah, I definitely
and she really identified with it, like saying how she would feel really drained like after spending too much social time. And I didn't notice myself feeling that as much when I was younger, but now
you notice it.
I definitely notice it. And that could also be to do with lockdown as well. Like let's be honest. My social battery is so way, way lower than I think it was before. But you definitely notice it. But I think as well I still struggle in my everyday life to just remember to like take a breath and like just not rush through things. Like how do you do that in your everyday life? Like do you have any like tips for like just not rushing through things and not putting loads of pressure on yourself?
I think another book that I read that was amazing, it's by Brené Brown. I think, I can't remember what it's called exactly. I'll need to send you that later. But she was writing about how people are obsessed with like burnout, or like, I'm so tired, as using it as a symbol of like success. Like we really associate being busy or like having all this stuff to do with being successful. But then when you actually look at it, you think, is like being so overworked and tired and having like a million things to do successful? Does it make you feel good? But I think I just had to learn really to say no to a lot of things, which is so hard. I'm a people pleaser. Yes. I like to do things. I like to help people out. So I think just realising actually I need time to be alone, to do nothing. It makes me a better person to do those things, because you can't constantly be given if you don't have the energy and things.
Absolutely. Yeah, saying no. That's a big thing.
But you need to work on it, and you need to constantly think, can I do this? Am I doing too much?
Yeah, or what? Like, am I just saying yes because I'm trying to make people happy? Yeah, that's 100%. And I think you're right about what you said about burnout. It's almost like a badge of honour.
Yeah, it's like I'm so exhausted, and it's like a competition. Like co-workers, like I'm so tired. It's like, well, you can't be tired.
You're tired. Well, I know. I hate that. Like I used to. Good. I felt like that in quite a few jobs actually that I've had, and it's like almost like, well, you say you're tired for X, Y, Z, but I've got kids, so I'm more tired, or I've got like I work more hours, or I've got whatever, and it's like it's not a competition, and it's weird, and it's a competition that they want to win, like they want to be more tired. It's really strange.
And then, or it's like people who say like, no, like they're staying on late, they work through their lunch break. I just think, why?
Yeah, that's
what? And I think something else people say is like, what is your motivation and who wins? Like if you work so hard, if you work through your lunch break and you have, I assume, an employer, like who benefits from that?
Them.
Yeah,
not you.
Not you. And the reward for hard work is more work.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. Yeah, there's so many TikToks that come up about that. That I've seen, and it's like working so hard, putting in extra hours so that my boss gives me more responsibilities, but not more pay. So it's like,
because you rarely get thanked for it. And if you show that you can,
especially in big corporations, like they don't care. You're a number, aren't you? Like you're expendable.
Absolutely. When I had a job where I met one of my best friends, he said to me, I can't remember what we were doing, but it was a minimum wage job, and he said like, it's minimum wage, make sure you put in minimum effort. And he was like, you're working too hard. And I was like,
that is so true.
Like,
minimum wage, minimum effort.
So from then on at that job, I just skived every single day.
I love that. No, absolutely, because why should you? Like, there is the expectation for you to like absolutely like break your back doing this work, but then they're going to pay you the absolute minimum.
No sick days, and if you call in sick, there's this attitude.
I hate that. I hate that, like, weird.
I hate that as well. And I hope from the pandemic people learn that, like, to be unwell, any type of you're feeling unwell, it's not like a sign that you are a lazy person or a bad person, but there's this real stigma, especially I think in Scotland, around like,
you should just work through it. Yeah, you should just work through it, like stiff upper lip, like,
or like we reward people for like perfect attendance, and you think.
But even from school age, this is the thing. Like, so I've been kind of like looking into this as well, like how indoctrinated we are from a young age to like go to school for what, like 6-7 hours a day. So wake up early in the morning, 6-7 hours a day at school, come home, do homework, and then maybe have a couple hours like leisure time at night. And it's like, that's us being trained
for that from a young age,
for that 9-to-5 lifestyle as we get older.
Absolutely.
It's actually mind-blowing when you think about it that way.
And then you think of people who are like completely excluded, like if you have a chronic health condition, if you look after someone who has that, and you can't work, like as in paid work, you're so excluded from like so many
that's true
things in society, where it's just like, what is your value if you can't do that normal contribution? And it's just really sad that we don't have allowances for, you know, anybody can become unwell, anybody could be disabled, but we don't have as a society have a space for like work that isn't paid labour. Yeah,
no, you're right. And even just taking time off to do something that you want to do. Like I remember when I was 20. So we did the fashion marketing course. I only did you only do 1 year?
No, I did
you finish it? Well done. She finished it. I only did 1 year, and I was like, I can't do that. I was like, right, okay, no, I know I want to be an actor. I'm going to go study. And so I was in my HND year, and we were doing a show. So I must have been like maybe 1920, something like that. And I worked for a big fashion retailer, and I had this one manager, and she didn't seem to understand that this was just a weekend job for me. Like it was just money. And I remember going to her and saying, I've got a show on the Sunday or something like that, so I won't be able to do my Sunday shift, and I'll like need cover for it. And she was like, well, we'll see if we can get you cover. And I was like, no, I'm really telling you I'm not going to be here because I'm physically going to be on a stage. If you don't get me cover, that's your problem.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
it's this weird expectation of like, you should be putting this first. And I was like, I think I was doing like 12 hours a week.
I know.
Why would I put that first?
I often think like jobs like that will replace you in a second.
Oh yeah.
They expect the most. They expect you to bend over backwards, be available, answer your phone. Like, no.
Absolutely.
The other day I was off work, it was a day off, it was Mother's Day. Had a few glasses of wine and my manager texted me saying like, can you please call this other number to like essentially ask them to do something for me? And I was like, I had 4 glasses of wine.
I shouldn't be calling anybody.
And I just didn't do it. I thought, it's the weekend, I'm off. And I would have felt so guilty for that in the past, but now I'm just like...
That's a good sign that you're like comfortable setting boundaries. I think that's another big thing. And I've found that it's really hard though, because I feel like you can set boundaries for yourself, but then if someone, like other people that you're working with, maybe they don't have the same perspective or they don't set boundaries with their time, it can be hard for them to understand.
Yes.
You know?
Is
that
so
something
true.
you've come up with as well?
Yeah, or sometimes like even like with people who are close to you, if you say like, you know, like your family says, oh, so what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm just going to relax. And they're like, what? I was like, oh, no, just nothing, just relax. And it's kind of like, well, you're not doing anything then, so we can make plans or we can do something. It's like, no, there's a big difference between relaxing, resting, and just being available. Yeah,
it's not an invitation for you. I know, and it's hard because it's not like you don't want to see them, but you do need that time, that downtime. And I was thinking about this the other day. I can't remember if I posted something on Instagram, but I was going through my head about how like you don't have to justify how you spend your time to other people. Because I think you probably done this in the past as well. I still do this sometimes. Like I'll say no to something, so I'll be like, right, okay, I'm setting my boundary, I'm saying no. But then I'll justify it. I'll spend like a massive message being like, it's just because I need to do this. And it's like, you don't have to do that.
Absolutely.
You can just say no.
Yeah, you can just say no. I think that's a really good something to learn, but it's also you need to practice that so much.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't come easy.
No.
To say no.
No. I think for like us like young women as well in particular, like we're so and again trained from a young age to be like, be polite. You know, just agree, like be available. Yeah, be flexible, like go along with it. That's something I struggle with. Like even when I say no, I'm then justifying why I have to say no.
But I think kind of like once you start saying it, it does get easier.
Oh yeah.
And you start to kind of get a bit more confident and being like, no, actually, if I do this, I'll feel better for me, and it's actually better for the people around you as well, because you're going to be nicer.
Absolutely.
Not definitely. So like burnt out and snappy. So
definitely. No, I know I've noticed that as well. Like usually I would like say I was working all day or something, there was like a social engagement or event at night, and I would force myself to go because I'd be like, oh, but it's friends or it's family or whatever. But then I would go and I'd be in a bad mood because I was tired or I was hungry. So I'm like, who's winning? I'm not fun company to be around.
If you're tired.
Like, do you know what I mean? So it is. It's just because I asked that. Yeah, even funnily enough on Mother's Day, I was working and I was going to go and see my mum at night, and I thought, I'm not going to be good company. Like, I'm going to be too tired. She's not going to have a good time. I'm not going to have a good time. So I just saw her on the Monday because I was off, and I was like, do you know what? And we had a great time. And I think sometimes it's just realising that, like, you don't have to, like, push through and
just keep going as well.
Yeah, but there is so much expectation, isn't it? It's so hard. It's so hard to... I need to stop justifying it.
But I think as well, it's like, sometimes I realise that just, like, simple things, like, I love being at home, just, like, days at home can be really satisfying, just... without having any like big plans can still be really good for you and really enjoyable times. Yeah, I mean we just did some crocheting in the video. So I do love that. Yeah, Maxine crochets, but even just like things like that. I'm saying little things. I don't mean to dismiss it, but just your own personal hobbies. Hobbies that are like not I must do this to achieve something. Just hobbies that you want to do, just like for the purely for the enjoyment. I think that's something that's almost people feel like guilty for doing. Like I'm doing this, it's not going to be productive, or I'm not making money, I'm not hustling. It's just hustle culture is a real thing, isn't it? It's so real. Especially like probably like we're similar. Like I have a few jobs, and I always think like I could take on more at this job, I could take on more at that job, or people kind of like if you have a full-time job ask you, well, what are you doing, and if you kind of say like, oh yeah, I'm doing this and that, and people are kind of like, so like what do you actually do? It's like, well, there's a kind of list. Everything. And so I think when you have like an unconventional job as well, there's more pressure to push it. How much can you do? Why can't you do more of this?
Definitely.
How can you make your little jobs
more? Yeah, definitely. Especially like I'm obviously a freelancer, so that's a struggle for me because there's always like that voice in your head that's like, oh, you have some free time, you could be working on this.
Absolutely.
You could be doing that, and it's so hard to be like, yeah, I could be doing that, but I also could just relax. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Because I did that yesterday. I had like a day off basically for myself yesterday. And usually I would sort of schedule in things to do, even on a day off. It's weird. I find I'm good at relaxing at night.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's like a programming thing, but like I feel like after maybe, I don't know, 7 o'clock, I don't feel that guilty to relax. But during the day, it's like, no, you shouldn't be relaxing.
That's so true.
It's weird, isn't it?
Do you know what's really interesting? A girl recently spoke to me about, I think it's called body programming. I'm not sure, but she said it's like a session where you go and they tell you about what work kind of schedules would suit your personality best.
That's interesting.
And she spoke about, again, what we said, like saying no to things. Or she said sometimes if she gets a vibe from someone that she didn't particularly think they would get on well, she would be like, you know, not too keen to spend time with them, and she felt guilty about that. But then at the session, the person said, no, actually, if you don't feel that with someone, why would you continue to spend your time with them? I think that's totally okay to be like,
that's true.
You don't have to be mean, you just don't have to spend time with people that you don't get a positive output from or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, that
was interesting. I was like, I want to try this.
Body programming.
I'll tell you if it actually was something like that.
No, I think there's a lot of that going around now because I think people do feel the need to like find something that works for them a lot better. And maybe also from lockdown, like working from home, people are like, oh, I don't want to go back to an office. Like, why would I?
9 to 5?
Yeah, I want to sit in my jammies and like, you know, chill out, not put any makeup on. So I think people are trying to find
the balance.
Yeah, things that work a bit better for them. I was also reading, I don't know if you read the book Why We Sleep by...
No, but I think I might have started it.
So that was interesting. That was talking about like our circadian rhythms. And there was a part in that book where he basically said that there's countries like Spain, for example, that have like afternoon siestas because your circadian rhythm dips in the middle of the afternoon, like late afternoon. I think it was like some people in office environments call it like the 3 o'clock slump or 3 p.m. slump. And I really find that like around that time. I'm
slumped like all day.
The whole day. The whole day's a slump. No, I have days like that as well. But I do find that the late afternoon, I could go for a nap. Like I'm pretty sleepy. But again, we're just like, it's not in our culture to do that. So we just work through it.
And it's like, why do we think that every single, or like most people should work 9 to 5? Like, that to me.
Yeah, we're not robots. But I think ideally that's probably what, I don't know, capitalism would like us to be. Like, just grind out at 9 to 5, don't think about it, have a couple hours at night, have your couple of holidays a week, and that's your life.
I also read this really good book, it's called Your Money or Your Life, and it talks about, see if you have a job that's really draining you, and after work it means you can't cook fresh food, so you buy a takeaway. That actually costs more than maybe your job is worth, and they can explain it like that, like if every weekend you have to do things like you have to drink a lot to escape the stress of work at the week, like it actually ends up costing you.
So even if you're making good money, it's not worth it necessarily.
If your life isn't a good balance. I thought that's really true.
That does make sense. I think a lot of people like just see the money, for example, in a job and think, or the, I don't know, whatever, like, it's funny, I always think, the status, that's true, everything that the perks that come with the job, but then they don't see like how it actually affects their whole life, because what's that saying? It's like, you shouldn't live to work, you should work to live kind of thing. So if it is, if it's all consuming, you can't escape, or you feel like you need to escape it with like drugs, alcohol, like whatever, then that's costing more. It's not worth it.
Like think of how many people actually get unwell, like chronically sick through their jobs.
Yeah. A lot of people, or just through burnout, just through like pushing themselves. Like even people, again, that's what I struggle with, because I do actually enjoy my jobs. So sometimes I don't realise, that I still need to take a break from it, even if you enjoy it.
It can take like 3 to 5 years to properly recover from burnout if you have that complete burnout experience.
Which is insane. That's a long time. That's a long recovery time. So don't do that.
So some more, we could do a whole
oh my goodness, we could be here all day.
Topics, and we could do some more on this, because I feel like we have so much.
Yeah, I know, absolutely, we could talk for ages, but this has been really good. I feel like we've recommended loads of books.
Yes, we'll need to put like a
this has turned into like a book
recommendation.
I think you read, I don't know if it was you that read, I've seen a few people read The Body Keeps the Score. Have you read that?
Yeah. Apparently it's not the best. Apparently there's better ones out there, because some of the exams in it I was a bit like, But I like books like that about stress, burnout. I've read loads of books like that.
Was there one, again, I think it might have been you, that I'm on Goodreads, so sometimes I lose track of who's read what, but laziness does not exist.
Yes,
Did you
I
read
love that book. It must be, I think
Okay.
it was really popular, but that's an amazing book.
So I guess our top tips for like not getting burned out and living slow are to say no.
Say no.
And not
Practice.
justify it.
Yep.
And analyse, I guess, the cost
Of weigh up what you're doing.
weigh up what you're doing and is it worth it?
And I think find out what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Like what actually makes you feel good after doing it, just kind of thinking about things like that, how we spend our time. Are you doing it because you want to, or are you doing it because you think this is productive and this is what good productive people do?
So doing things just for the sake of doing them, like just for the sake of enjoying it. Yeah. Cool. Well, I hope this was helpful for whoever's watching. And yeah, I think we should do more. I think this is fun because it's been like, 20 minutes? We could talk for like 2 hours probably about this. But thank you so much. So that was my discussion with Maxine on the benefits of slow living, the dangers of hustle culture, and everything else that we managed to chat about in between. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to see more of these videos, because we honestly could have talked for hours on this subject, so if you do want to see more of this type of content, then please give me a like and leave us a comment so that we know. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!